Welcome into your practice and welcome to Studio B. My name is Jyoti Bainey and we are going to continue learning and practicing from sacred shapes and sacred stories with the story of Visvamitra and the posture of Vishmitrasana today. Let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat so that we can lay the foundations for this practice by starting with the story of Visvamitra. So you can see that I'm here in a comfortable seated position. You could either take this shape or another seated position that works well for you today, and then go ahead and find a nice landing place for the hands. We want to become aware of the posture, but without making it overly rigid, and then start to close the eyes. And as we start to drop into the practice, this is a beautiful invitation to really become aware of your sense of sound. Listening to my voice as I begin to lay the foundations for our practice today by sharing the story, or one of the stories, of Visvamitra. Vishvamitra was a king, and yet he was born to a lower caste. And as a result of the caste that he was born into, he had lesser hopes for high achievements in the spiritual realm. And yet, in spite of his caste, Visvamitra was incredibly strong-willed. And over the course of his life, Visvamitra's desire for spiritual strength grew. And after many sacrifices and reparations, he eventually succeeded in achieving the highest spiritual enlightenment. It is said that even the higher caste kings and religious men came to pay homage to Visvamitra because they recognized that his spiritual practice was more difficult than theirs. He had to overcome a number of obstacles to achieve that spiritual enlightenment, and it took his entire lifetime to achieve it. On our yoga mats, Visvamitrasana, the pose that is named after Vishvamitra, it's an intense pose. It requires dramatic hip opening, shoulder opening, hamstring opening, strength, balance, and a firm sense of purpose. And so as we channel the energy of Visvamitra in this practice today, we begin to embrace the power of personal transformation, recognizing that that happens one breath, one shape, one moment at a time. Let's take one more breath here, just letting this story of Visvamitra starting to seep into our hearts and our minds, informing our practice today. And then we'll start to prepare the body for the work of this practice. So let's blink open the eyes a couple of times. And we're going to begin with bringing the awareness to the shoulders, which we're going to ask a lot of today. So let's lengthen the arms out wide. Have your left palm facing towards the floor and rotate your right palm up towards the ceiling. And then start flipping back and forth. And so what we're doing here is we're working with internal and external rotation in the shoulder. And we want to feel that rotation originating up here in the glenohumeral joint and then continuing down the length of the arm. The next time the right palm is facing up towards the ceiling, left palm is down, pause, sweep the right arm up, left arm down, and then walk the hands down the back. Now, some of you might find that it's really easeful. The fingertips naturally meet and you can find a soft bind there. For others, the bind isn't necessarily the objective, so you could just make soft fists on the back, gently push those soft fists into the back of the spine, and just take a couple breaths here. So we're just preparing the body for some of the big, challenging shapes we're going to move into today. Take one more inhale here. If you have a bind, begin to gently release it. Everyone, take your left fingertips out to the floor on your left, reach your right arm up, and then fold laterally to your left. Opening up the space in the side body. This is, again, a part of the body we're going to get really spacious into today. One more full inhale here. And then as you lift the torso up, take your right hand to the left side of the face and drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Let your left fingertips float off the floor, but continue reaching the left fingertips out and down. Taking a couple of breaths to feel that opening through the left side of the neck. And I'm even feeling this rippling all the way down my left arm. And then let's bring the hands back to the knees and just let the head on its own slowly float back up to center. And we'll just take a break here, closing the eyes and just take a full breath, resting in neutral. Really pacing the practice today. Open the eyes, arms out wide, and again, external and internal rotation. So there will be moments where there's a lot of intensity. We're working with a challenging shape, and then moments of rest and pause. Next time, left palm is up, right palm is down. Sweep left arm up, right arm down. And again, walk the fingertips towards each other. Maybe they find each other, maybe they don't. If you have a bind, let's keep it pretty soft. Taking the opportunity to be soft in this practice when we can, because there will be plenty of opportunity for us to be a little bit more, almost like a stern approach, a little bit more Rajasic. Vishvamitra was known for having a bit more of a Rajasic personality. I'm going to take one more inhale here. It feels good. And then we're coming into that lateral bend. So right fingertips out to the side and then bending to your right. And I'm just welcoming in as much space and really using the breath to flow through the left side of my rib cage, down my obliques and into the sides of my waist. And then as I float up, left hand to the right side of my face, left ear to left shoulder. Neck stretch, right fingertips float away from the floor and fingertips are reaching out and down. And so throughout the practice this morning, let's remember what our purpose is, staying really focused and determined, remembering that that is a lot of what it means to channel the energy of Vishvamitra. For his entire lifetime, he stayed focused on his goal of spiritual achievement. Let's release the left hand, let the head float back up to center. Take a pause here, full breath. And then let's bring in some core work. I'm going to turn sideways. Let's bring the hips down to the mat. We're going to set up for upward facing table, building a little bit more of a flow energy here, setting the rhythm for the practice. Feet down, hands down. Inhale, push down onto the earth, lift the pelvis, draw the knees forward, full inhale. And then exhale, drop the seat and lift the legs up into a boat pose. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhale here. Exhale, hands and feet down, lift upward facing. And then lowering the hips and lifting back up into that boat. Establishing here in that full inhale, long spines. Exhale, hands and feet down, press it up and open. This is also a beautiful way to sort of open up the shoulders. 2 more. Gain a little bit of core awareness. Hands and feet down, press it up. Opening up that front compartment of the pelvis. Last time through this Navasana. And then listening carefully here, we're going to change it up. Hands and feet down, upward facing table. And then without letting the pelvis touch the mat, scoop the hips back and up, straighten your legs. Sweep it forward and upward facing table. That's it. 4 more. Sweep it back and up. 3 more. Inhale forward. This is a nice way to sort of floss the shoulders as well, preparing them for a lot of the challenging rotation and yet strength work that we're going to ask of that shoulder joint today. 1 more time, forward and up, and back and through. And then lowering, crossing the ankles, plant the palms, find your first Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So the first half of this practice is really going to be about preparing the body to enter Vishmitrasana. And then the latter portion of this practice, we're going to be working with 3 different variations of the Visvamitrasana shape. Let's take 1 more breath here in downward facing dog and continuing that flowing energy, start to shift forward to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, rock it back down dog. Take that again, inhale. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Listen carefully. Inhale, plank. Drop the right knee. Modified Vashisthasana, left arm up. And then return to that plank. Hips lift, down dog. Second side, inhale, plank. Left knee down, right arm up. And plank. And down dog. One more just like that each side. Inhale. Exhale, transition. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, side plank variation. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. You could stay with that or come with me. Inhale. Heels right, left arm up, Vishmitrasana. Back to plank on the inhale. Back to down dog on the exhale. Inhale, that's it. Heels left, right arm up, exhale. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time, inhale. Exhale, heels right, left arm up. Keep at it. Inhale, plank. Not giving up. Vishmitrasana is on the horizon. Plank. Vishmitrasana. And back to plank. And back to down dog. Take a breath. Staying focused and determined and not losing sight of the goal. Lift the head, look forward, step the right foot forward, windmill it up, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Vishvamitra, it's written, or the stories say, he had, a very strong-willed personality. There was a sort of rajasic, energetic, powerful sort of aspect to his personality. So it makes sense that the shape named after him would carry those same qualities. Let's find Trikonasana, straightening the right leg, either bringing the right hand to the shin bone, or if you're coming to a floor of the block, please do so in front of the right foot today. Taking about 5 breaths through this first round. I'm still really thinking of this as kind of this warm-up portion of the practice. We're just visiting these shapes for the first time, trying to open up the body in a compassionate and yet mindful kind of way, knowing that we're building to these challenging shapes. Look down, find high-flying lizard pose, both hands inside the right foot, and pivoting onto a lunge. Taking a couple of breaths here, looking forward. So remembering that for Vishvamitra, it took him an entire lifetime to achieve that goal of spiritual attainment. Let's lower the left knee and maybe lower to the forearms. Couple more breaths here. And so if this is your first approach to any of the Visvamitra version of shapes, don't expect to get it today. That's not the point. If Visvamitra teaches us anything, it's that transformation and growth take time. Let's walk the hands back up. Tuck your left toes, lift the left knee. We're coming into Malasana, so left foot steps forward outside the left hand, drop the hips. Finding Malasana, again, about 5 breaths here. And what I'm doing is I'm developing shape after shape after shape. The intelligence of having the knee and the shoulder in relationship with each other. So as you sit in this Malasana, a couple more breaths, maybe use the inner knees to just gently hug the outer shoulders. And then drop the hands, lift the seat, wide-legged Uttanasana, feet come parallel. Bring the hands on your low back, interlace the fingers, and then wash the arms up and overhead. And then bend the right knee deeply, drop your right shoulder to your right knee. Let the torso pivot around to the left and maybe look over the left shoulder. Push the left foot into the mat a little bit more. And then exhale, coming out. Take a soft vinyasa here. Step back to plank. Lowering knees, chest, and chin. Cobra. Downward facing. Full breath in. Staying focused and determined. Lift the head, look forward. Second side with that sequence, starting with Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. This is a great time to tune in to the quality of your breath, the pacing of your breath. Let's take this into Trikonasana, straighten the left leg. Remember, the hand could just come to the shin, but if you are bringing it to a block or the floor, please do so in front of that left foot today. And every one of these shapes is kind of like extending an invitation to the body to start to open up in preparation for our work with the different Vishmitrasana variations. We're going to come into that lizard. So we look down, right hand and left hand both inside that left foot. A couple breaths here in high flying lizard. And again, what are we doing? We're developing the relationship of the shoulder and the knee. So we're wanting to get that shoulder in line with the knee. Go ahead and drop the back knee. Maybe we even bring the shoulder below the knee by coming onto the forearms. Trust me, this is going to come in handy later. This will all make sense. Right now, it's almost like we're doing different aspects of Vishmitrasana in this flow, and then we'll put it together in the full shape later on in the practice. One more breath here. Don't give up. Keep at it. And then coming into Malasana, hands up. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, step it forward. Pelvis drops down, you're in that Malasana. And again, we want the knees to gently hug into the outer shoulders. And then we want to try and lengthen the neck and bring the palms of the hands together. So we're feeling that hugging in towards the midline. That's going to really stabilize us later for Visvamitrasana. Take one more inhale. Drop the hands, lift the seat, feet parallel. Sweep the hands to the low back. Interlace the odd way. Knuckles up and over, opening through the chest and the front of the shoulders. Left knee bends, left shoulder to left knee. And then you're revolving the torso around to the right. There may be points in today's practice where you feel uncomfortable, either physically or mentally. And just remember that being uncomfortable is actually a sign of growth and transformation. Let's come back to center and take a soft vinyasa here. Plant the palms, walk the feet back. Plank. Ashtangasana. Bhujangasana. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Step the right foot forward, Warrior 2, just about 3 breaths, picking up the pace a little bit. We're feeling warmer. 2. We're going to take this to side angle. So right forearm could come to thigh, or again, if you're coming to a block or the floor, please do so inside the right foot. Deep Parshvakonasana side angle pose. Again, relationship between the shoulder and the inner knee is what we're developing here. Give it one more breath. Now come into Trikonasana, straighten that right leg, hand stays where it is. Option to sweep the left arm overhead, developing that lengthening, that spaciousness through the left side of the body. 2 more breaths. So we're starting to really grow towards Vishvamitrasana. 1 more inhale. And then again, back to that high flying lizard. Hands inside the right foot, high flying. Maybe briefly lower onto the forearms. Maybe you drop the knee, maybe you keep it lifted. We just got 1 more breath here. And then coming into that Malasana, stepping left foot forward, sinking the pelvis, and we're down. Seeing how quickly you can find the stillness and the depth of the pose now that we're starting to get warmer. Hands to mat, lift the seat. And we're going to start to work towards Bhujangasana. So walk the hands back in line with the feet, bend the knees. See if you can bring the shoulders towards the inner knees. Lift the seat and fold. Little squeeze here. Do that again, bend the knees, shoulders back. Lift the seat and work to straighten.
And then bend the knees, walk the fingertips behind the feet. Shoulders try to come behind the knees. Drop the seat. Big toes together. And see if you can find a little bit of a balance here for 3, 2, 1. We're going to take it to that soft vinyasa. Feet down, hands forward, walk it back. Plank. Ashtangasana. Bhujangasana. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Keep it flowing, left foot forward. Virabhadrasana 2. Land here, get grounded and stable. And then from here, side angle, either forearm to thigh or left hand to block or floor inside that left foot. Nurturing that exhale to keep the breath steady and calm and deep. Trikonasana, straightening left leg, and maybe sweeping right arm over. Staying focused and determined, not losing sight of the goal. High flying lizard. Remembering Vishvamitra teaches us transformation isn't easy. It's the work of a lifetime. We're here doing it one breath at a time. Step it forward, Malasana. Don't give up. Keep at it. One more breath here in that Malasana, nurturing that exhale, keeping it calm, and then working towards Bhujangasana or maybe coming into full firefly. So lift the seat, feet parallel, walk the hands back in line with the feet, bend the knees, shoulders and the inner knees, lift the seat and fold. Do that one more time, bend the knees, try to get that relationship between shoulders and knees, lift the seat and fold. And then hands come behind, fingertips facing forward. I think of my legs like backpack straps, so I want them over the shoulders. And then fingertips down, palms down, drop the seat, look forward, and maybe start to straighten the legs for 3, 2. Soft vinyasa, plant the palms, plank. Ashtangasana, Cobra, Down Dog. Dropping the knees to the mat, briefly finding a child's pose. And then walking the hands up, finding your hero's pose. So this might be a time where you choose to pause the video or to watch the next 15 to 30 seconds of what's coming next and then kind of rewind to come back to it. We're going to do the first version of Vishmitrasana with the knee down. So I'm just going to instruct it. You can either try and come along with me or try and see what we're doing and then rewind and do it together. Okay, we're going to start in downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And this is a beautiful variation where you get the stability of the knee and the shin down. Inhale, float the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the right knee in towards the chest. Do that again. Inhale, 3-legged. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, 3-legged. As you exhale, lower the left shin to the mat. Bring the right knee into the chest and then tuck it across the left knee. Spin the left shin back. Lift your left hand. Find the pinky side edge of your right foot. Straighten your right leg forward and then swing it forward and over. Finding that variation of Vishmitrasana, you have the option to lower the right heel and just take a lateral bend, or you can keep hold of the foot and stay here. Whoop. One more inhale. And then we'll come back to downward facing dog. Option to flow through Vinyasa, forward. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Second side, inhale, float left leg up. Left knee in towards the heart. Three-legged. Don't lose sight of the goal, knee to chest. Stay focused and determined. Right knee and shin down. Left knee in and tuck it around. Right shin pivots, left palm stays down. Right hand finds the pinky side edge of the left foot. Left leg extends, and then sweep it forward and open. 3, 2, and then take that Vinyasa, plank, Chaturanga, upward, downward. Step the left foot forward. Pivot and externally rotate the entire left leg. Cleopatra pose. Left arm up and around. Nice hip opener. Working towards full Vishmitrasana. Reach that left arm back. Smile. You're doing amazing. And then we're going to take this all the way down to Loungeasana. So right hip down. Slide and just kind of hold the right side of your head. Take the peace fingers of your left hand, find your left big toe, and then start to extend that left leg up. A couple breaths here. If you peek down, we want to try and have a straight line as much as possible with the body. You could stay right here in Loungeasana or work towards Supta Visvamitrasana, reclining Visvamitra pose. So bending that left knee, I'm going to use my left arm to kind of put on that backpack strap. Right hand comes up to the pinky side edge of the left foot. Left fingertips in front of me like a kickstand. And then I push and straighten. A little bend in my right elbow. Look up to the ceiling and breathe. Now don't come out of this like a rubber band snapping. Nice, soft exit. Come to the belly. And take 3 cobra roll-ups. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Push up to all fours. Tuck the toes, downward facing. Shift forward to plank pose. Vashisthasana, heels right, left arm up. And then crescent version. Sweep that left arm overhead and then take that right hip in the side of the waist and whoo, pull it away from the floor like you're creating a rainbow with your body. Maybe look up to the ceiling, challenge the balance. 2. And then downward facing dog or optional Vinyasa. Hands down. You could take that Vinyasa or skip it straight to down dog. We'll take that second side, right foot forward. Externally rotate the right leg, left pinky side down. Right arm up and over, Cleopatra. Deep hip stretch. And then as gracefully as we can, ha ha ha, find the floor, Loungeasana, holding the side of the head, peace fingers around the right big toe, and we reach that right leg up. This is a really nice way to kind of connect with the core, especially if you truly get the body in a line. And then option to work with Supta Visvamitrasana by bending that right knee. You're going to use the right arm to kind of put on the backpack strap. Left hand comes up to the pinky side edge of the right foot. Right fingertips in front of you like a kickstand. And then start to straighten that right leg, finding Supta Visvamitrasana. and breathing. So we develop the blueprint of the shape in the body, but without having to worry too much about the balance here. And then slowly and with control coming out, finding the belly for those dancing cobras. Inhale it up. And down. And up. Remembering that being uncomfortable is a sign of growth and transformation. Find all fours. Tuck the toes downward facing. Shift forward to plank and then to Vishmitrasana on the left side. Right arm up. Sweep the right arm over and lift the left side of the body for that beautiful spectrum on the body here. Transformation isn't easy, it takes time. Don't give up. And then optional vinyasa or straight to downward facing. Lowering the knees to the mat, sitting back in hero's pose, taking a breath. So again, this is an opportunity. If you've never practiced Vishmitrasana before, we're going to work with the full pose next. And it might be nice to watch this through, just visually, sitting, taking it in, and then rewind for your personal practice. If you're very familiar with Visvamitrasana, then you can just come along with me. We'll start from downward facing dog. Looking forward, take your right thumb to your left thumb and go ahead and step your right foot forward into lizard pose, a place we've been numerous times in this practice already. Then start to pivot onto the inner arch of that left foot. And then think of that right leg like that backpack strap, just like we did on our backs, and start to tuck the right shoulder behind the right knee. Plant the right palm because that's now going to become your foundation. Pop up onto the ball of the right foot. Take your left hand to the pinky side edge, and step one, just try to lift the right foot and find balance. And then start to extend that right leg, scoop the right hip under the body, and revolve the gaze. 2, 1. Coming out. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths to recover before we do the second side. If there's some heat that needs to come out of the body, feel free to open the mouth, let it out. Let's go with the second side. Looking forward, left thumb to right thumb. Step the left foot forward. Find that lizard. Feel that relationship that we've developed, the whole practice of the shoulder and the inner knee. And then pivot onto the ends, so kind of the arch side of the foot plants down. We got that firm back foot. Put on the backpack strap, left shoulder behind left calf. Left palm comes flat on the floor. And there's a micro bend in my left elbow here so that I can recruit my biceps and my shoulder muscles to really stabilize the shape. Right hand to pinky side edge of foot. And then I pick up the foot, feel that balance first, and then start to straighten. Scoop the left hip underneath my body and breathe. One more breath. And then stepping it out, downward facing. Equalize the breath, nurture the exhale. And then lower the knees to the mat. Upavishta Konasana, take the legs wide. So this is, one of the glories of home practice is you could pause and do that again on each side. I'm going to start to just fold straight forward. For some of these bigger poses, sometimes I like to do them more than once on each side. You know, the first time is almost like a dress rehearsal. You're just kind of like telling the body what you want it to do. The second time around, the body tends to have an awareness of what you're asking it to do, and it tends to go better. So particularly if this is a newer pose for you, or a newer set of shapes for you to work with, try it more than once on each side. You're going to get a little bit more confident and stable each time. And again, Vishmitrasana is a pose that asks so much of us. We have to overcome obstacles of hip opening, shoulder stability and strength, hamstring opening, balance, focus, determination. The same way that Visvamitra had to overcome so many different obstacles because of his caste in order to achieve the spiritual attainment that he was really focused on attaining for his whole life. We're going to be here about 30 more seconds in Upavishta Konasana. And what we learn from Visvamitra is that the things that we truly want in life often take a lot of time for us to attain them or achieve them. And so not to get too attached to how something goes the first or second time around, but just to keep showing up for the work. Let's walk the hands in, close the legs gently, come onto the back. Keep the right leg extended, left knee in towards the chest, and then draw that left leg across the body, spinal twist. Oh. This is a beautiful opportunity to express some gratitude for the body. It did some pretty amazing things in the practice today. And switch sides, unraveling that twist, lengthen the left leg, and then right knee in and twisting over to the left. And then coming into center, we prepare to move into Shavasana, lengthening the arms and the legs. And I'm primarily going to give you the gift of silence in today's Shavasana. But I will remind you that you are not your physical body. You are not the thoughts in your mind. But that you are this pure and peaceful consciousness that resides within you always. Enjoy it. Without moving your body, allow deep and conscious breath to slowly return. And as the breath deepens, allow subtle movement to enter through the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And then extending the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. And then in your own way and in your own time, coming back up to a comfortable seat. As you find that comfortable seat, let's drop into just a few rounds of mindful breathing. We'll do 3 consecutive inhalations, inhaling 1/3, 2/3, then all the way, and then a long, slow, complete exhale. To prepare for that mindful pranayama, take a full breath in and a complete breath out. Inhaling 1/3, 2/3, all the way. Slow exhale out. Again, 1/3. Again, all the way. Ride out the exhale. Twice more on your own. Noticing that the body and the mind might naturally want to slip into a meditative state, and just allowing that to happen. We did all of this movement and breathing ultimately to prepare us for meditation. Just like Vishvamitra gave so many sacrifices and reparations over the course of his life in order to ultimately achieve that spiritual realm of enlightenment. Let's prepare to close this practice by gently bringing the palms of the hands together for our closing shlokas. You're welcome to join with me in these chants. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, and may that light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Sakuru Maharaj Ki. Jai.